how to perform a really good squat and hip hinge pattern, we're gonna go with the exercise routine. So, you have to complete 10 repetitions of each exercise and complete 3 to 5 rounds, okay? This is going to depend on how you're feeling and also in your physical activity levels. So if you are starting to be inactive now, I recommend you to do just 3 sets and see how you feel, and maybe in the next few days you can increase the number of sets that you're doing, the number of rounds. If you're normally active right now, and depending on how you feel today, you can complete in between 3 and 5 rounds. So, well, let's go. So we're going to start with a normal squat pattern. You know how to do it. Choose the width you feel comfortable with, and we go doing 10. Make sure your heels and your toes are on the floor. Make sure as well that your knees are following the same direction as your toes. And if you want, and if you feel like to, you can add some load. Okay? So I've completed my 10. Next one we're going to go with a hip hinge. And we can load it or not. That depends on you as well, depending on how you feel, depending if you're pregnant, in which stage of your pregnancy you are. Same with the postnatal period. If you have recently have your baby, you can go with little load or nothing. And if you are in the late postpartum period, we can add a little bit of load. Okay, so we go with a hip hinge. Remember your good posture, and we go doing 10. If you don't have weights, probably if you have elastic band or any other thing at home, for example, to do with an elastic band, you just step on the band and we go hinge. Make sure you go grab the band shorter, so we have tension to pull up. Really good, and always keeping a really nice posture. Okay, our next one. If you don't have weights, don't worry either. You can always use backpack loaded with some books or tins. You can use 2 bricks of milk, 2 bottles of water, something that is a little bit heavy, so you can add that load to your exercise. We just rest a little bit from the hip hinges. So our next exercise is going to be a sumo squat and a narrow squat. So quite important with this one, especially in pregnancy, if you're having pelvic girdle pain or if you're having symphysis pubic dysfunction, don't do this one. We stay doing normal squats, but we don't want to do sumo squats because we don't want to pull muscles around the pubic bone, because that can exacerbate the pain. Okay, same if in your postnatal period you're having a little bit, if you're still feeling that you have a little bit of symphysis pubic pain, try to avoid those. And as I was saying, normally the best thing you can do if you have any musculoskeletal pain is go to a women's health physiotherapist. Okay, that's key. For a sumo squat, I want to keep my toes pointing out, so I'm going to go down, knees pointing out as well, same direction as my toes. That's really important. I don't want to go sumo squat like this. Okay, so always knees out, so we go out, down, up, and now I'm going to turn my toes tiny bit in, as you see there, and I'm going to go down as well, knees following same direction as my toes. So I go down, and that's 1, and I go down again, out and in. I go 2. Always keep your heels and your toes on the floor, making sure you breathe down when you go, breath in when you go down, breath out when you go up. We go breath in, out, and I keep going. Same if you want to add some load, you can do it. This one is a little bit harder, so if you have been working out for your whole pregnancy or during your postnatal period, you have a good physical fitness, you can add a little bit of weight to these squats. And this is my 10th one. Okay, now we shake it off a little bit. So we go with our next exercise. This is the farmer. I'm going to use only one weight, so I'm going to keep this one away. You can keep your weight or your load on the floor or on a chair. Okay, this depends on the height of the way you're going to move. So we can do this one with a normal weight, with a kettlebell, with a backpack loaded with books or tins. Normally with a backpack, it's quite high, so we can keep the backpack on the floor. I'm doing this one on a chair because I want to keep a really good technique. So what we want to do is hip hinge pattern. We pick the load and then we walk around. Just go walking, little bit with the load, and then whip. To leave the load, I do the same. I do a hip hinge, I leave the load, and then I come back up. Then I should be doing the other side. Same. I hinge my hips, I keep my back in a good position. I carry my load and I go walking around. And then I do another hip hinge to leave the load. Okay? And I should be doing 10 as well. So I do 10 hip hinges and I walk around. So I'll let you keep going, keep doing these hip hinges and walking around while I talk. This exercise is really important because we're going to be picking loads of stuff from the floor. We're going to take the car seat. And it's really important that we do this, as I was explaining before in the educational video, that we do this in a good position, that we keep a good technique. Okay? So, well, I give you a little bit more time. I'm going to do a few more reps as well. So I walk around. Remember, you're going to use your load depending on how you feel today and in your physical fitness level as well. Okay, so if we are starting, we are not choosing big weights. We're choosing a way that we can deal with it for the whole exercise. Okay, so well, if you finish now with your 10 farmer walks, we go to our next exercise. And our next exercise is a modified squat jump. So what we want to do is squat. So we go a little bit wide. We perform perfect squat, as you know, and from there I'm going to go straight into my toes. Okay, so I go down and then up. So making sure you keep a good balance, you keep your abs engaged, you feel your head is being pulled up. So that helps to deal with our balance. And if you feel confident, we can add a little bit of a speed to the exercise. So this is my 8th one. Have 2 more to go. Okay, great. Same goes, you can play with the speed. You can go slower, you can go faster. Especially with this one, what I want you to feel is that you can control your balance. Key for this type of exercise, that if I stay on my toes, I'm going to be able to keep my balance. Really, really important. So I don't mind you go slow. Okay? And now we go with our last one. That's a little bit trickier. So I just wanted to challenge you. We're going to go with a single leg hip hinge, and we're going to do a row with a weight or a load. The weight or the load, as I've been saying before, doesn't have to be really high. Something that we can control and that we feel comfortable with. So we're going to keep the weight same side as the leg we're going to be moving. Okay, we don't keep the weight on the same side as the leg we're going to keep on the floor. Okay, because this leg has its own work right now. So we're going to hinge our hips one leg, then we pull the weight up and we come back. So for this one, we want to do 5 repetitions each side. So this is my 4th one, and then I go with the last whip. Do the same as I just did. If you feel you're losing your balance, foot on the floor, safety is first, and then we continue with the exercise. I'm going to do the other 5. And quite important, ladies, if you feel that just going like this and keeping your balance is enough, that's enough. That's really good. We don't need to add the load and the pull, okay? That's completely up to you. So we can try first only, and I think this is my last one. So I've completed my 10. And as I was saying, girls, if you feel that just going like this and dealing with your balance is enough, then that's enough, okay? You don't need to, this is an extra, the pull with the weight, but you don't have to do it, okay? So, well, now we have completed one whole round. Go to the beginning of the video and repeat it at least 3 rounds, and then you can go up to 5 depending on how you feel. And make sure you rest a little bit before finishing. Give yourself a little rest in between exercises. You can count it, or you can just go to the exercise again when you feel comfortable. Super quick stretch to finish the session. So we're making sure we are stretching our hips, so we're going to step back, heel on the floor, pelvis inwardly rotated, and we feel the stretch in our groin. Then we come back forward and we go with the other foot, same, pelvis inwardly rotated, and we just keep swapping. We're just going to do one more each side. Okay, next one, we're going to cross one leg over the other. I'm going to lean a little bit forward, and I'm going to pull my hips and pelvis towards the same side as my back leg, okay? And I just pull and come back, pull and come back. So you need to feel the stretch in your bum and down your back thigh. Now I change my legs and I do the same, hinge a little bit and pull your pelvis out, same direction as your back leg. Okay. I shake off my legs now. I'm gonna finish with a few pelvic circles just to give a little bit of a release and movement to my hips and pelvis. I go to the other side. Okay, shake it off. Now I stretch a little bit, chest and upper back. So I'm gonna push my palms forward, head down. I'm gonna go up to the ceiling, and then I'm gonna open my arms back, and I go again, pushing your upper back back, hands forward. I go up, and then I open. We're gonna do one more. Okay, now I'm going to relax my shoulders, shake it off, and good job, ladies. You've completed our first challenge day. Hope you're feeling okay, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.